Let's talk about the elephant in the room. WatchMojo.com. That's who we're reacting to today. But this is the top 20 darkest South Park moments ever.
Number 20. Garrison's way too detailed surgery. Season 9 of South Park begins with the boys' teacher undergoing gender-affirming surgery. As it's happening, we're given explicit and overly precise details by the doctor as to what is taking place. We're also shown graphic stock footage so we can see exactly what's going on. Showing gender-affirming surgery on TV in 2005 was forward-thinking and, in theory, progressive. But the way it's presented here is undeniably dark and difficult to watch, because it's unlikely anyone who tuned into this cartoon expected to be confronted with vivid live-action surgical videos.
Ain't no way.
Number 19.
Jesus.
Superman's new infatuation. Best known for playing Superman, actor Christopher Reeve was an inspiration to many for the strength he demonstrated after enduring an accident that left him with paralysis. So, of course, South Park decided to spin that in the worst possible way.
As most of you know, I am a strong supporter of stem cell research.
In real life, Reeve campaigned actively for an increase to the federal funding of embryonic stem cell research. On South Park, this somehow translated to him being obsessed with draining fetuses and essentially turning into a power-hungry supervillain.
You won't stop me, Hackman!
To say this is a gross misunderstanding of the science on top of being offensive is an understatement, so it definitely left a bad taste in the mouth of anyone who had looked up to the actor. Number 18. Athletic babies. Basically, the entire premise of this episode is dark. It centers on Cartman and the boys taking advantage of innocence with drug issues.
Who cares? Lots of people will when I tell them! We made $1,000 in 11 days. You what?
However, perhaps one of the darkest moments is when Kyle ultimately decides to join Cartman's scheme. Worse yet, he originally intended to help the victims after seeing an extremely sad commercial. It's tough to pick the absolutely darkest part though, whether it's Kyle's involvement, just witnessing what's happening at all, anytime the characters tried to justify their actions, take your pick. Number 17. Human Sentai Pad.
Oh my lord.
This might be one of the most disturbing and shocking predicaments Kyle finds himself in during the entire series. And all because
I think this has been in one of the compilations, but we've done the Try Not to Laugh too, bro. Try not to be sick.
It's not long before Kyle unwillingly takes part in a dark experiment reminiscent of the one shown in the notorious film The Human Centipede. The only thing perhaps more disturbing than the experiment itself is the fact that all Steve Jobs seems to be concerned about is whether the device can read or not. Wait, no. We'll give that honor to Cartman's pure joy at using the configuration. Number 16. Steve Irwin. At his Halloween party, Satan confronts someone for wearing a Steve Irwin costume, since it's making some of the other guests uncomfortable.
Oh, jeez.
But the man reveals himself to actually be Steve Irwin. Of course, that means he's not wearing a costume at all, so Satan promptly kicks him out.
Oh, but then dude, no costume.
This brief exchange was seen as problematic for many reasons, from the way the character is depicted, to the fact that he's in hell at all, to the fact that it aired less than 2 months after the crocodile hunter was killed.
No!
The most ironic thing about this joke is that, apparently, there is a line that you shouldn't cross, even for Satan and the denizens of hell. But there are no lines for South Park. Number 15, the weapon mishap.
What the fuck is
County
this?
Fair, the boys con a vendor and get themselves some weapons to play ninja. What could possibly go wrong? Well, this. Butters essentially loses his eye, and the boys are left to figure out how to deal with it. And naturally, they do not fare too well.
I'm getting woozy. Shut up, Butters.
Poor Butters, who's barely even conscious, is forced to pretend that he's a dog. But the people of South Park don't seem to be concerned with that either, instead focusing on Cartman's wardrobe malfunction, if you can even call it that.
Dude, they don't care we knocked Butters' eye out with weapons? Just run with it, dude.
Number 14, Cartman takes Mel Gibson fandom too far. For whatever reason, Cartman loved The Passion of the Christ. How much did he love the film, you might ask? So much that he created a Mel Gibson fan club. Okay, that's a choice. Oh, but it gets worse. Wait until you see what he's wearing and get a good sense of what his intentions with this club truly are.
We all know why we're here.
Worst of all, the clueless members who join the group are oblivious to what he's trying to do and simply follow along.
Oh, this is fun!
And if that wasn't bad
The
enough,
fuck?
they never actually realize what they're doing, as they only decide to leave the club after seeing how bonkers Mel Gibson is in person.
No, come on, people. We're so close to completing my final solution.
Number 13. Garrison and Garrison's father.
What?
In Worldwide Recorder Concert, Garrison is shown to have a complicated relationship with Garrison Sr. Based on how Garrison behaves, viewers are led to believe Garrison Sr. did some pretty messed up things
Wait.
to psychologically scar
That isn't it. These aren't related, are they? What?
the teacher as a child. But that is not at all the case. In fact, it's actually quite the opposite. In a shocking twist, the issue with Garrison's father stems from the fact that he never actually did anything to Garrison in the first place. And this results in Garrison believing that Garrison Sr. had no love for his child.
What? Was it that I was ugly? Oh my god! I wasn't good enough for you. Was that it, Dad? Well, no!
Thus, the episode sees Garrison pressuring Garrison Sr. into assault to prove his love. We can only gasp at this strange
my
twist of
God.
reverse psychology.
How do you
stood
even
by
think
and
of
let it
that?
happen. You saw him come home drunk and then just go right to sleep.
I'm not listening.
Face it, Mother, he never abused me.
Number 12. Indiana Jones. When Stan and Kyle mentioned that one of their friends was assaulted, audiences knew that South Park was about to cross the line like never before. Of course, nobody could have predicted that the friend in question was Indiana Jones, who was forced to suffer at the hands of Steven Spielberg and George Lucas on multiple occasions throughout the episode, with each instance being more graphic than the last.
You're looking good.
No, what are you gonna do to him?
While there is some pretty clever satire here, this incredibly dark imagery had a lot of people feeling grossed out, disturbed, and uncertain if they should be laughing or in
Seen this one
shock.
before, haven't we?
Was Kingdom of the Crystal Skull really that bad?
We can't help him now. I thought it was pretty good.
Number 11. Cartman finds out who his father is.
No! No! Now eat your chili!
South Park used to have a recurring joke that Cartman did not know who his father was, or that he simply didn't have one. The show even had a two-parter that teased the idea of revealing who this person really was, only to just not do it, much to the anger of South Park fans. However, the idea of discovering who that person is was revisited in the episodes 200 and 201. But much to his dismay, Cartman learns from his former rival Scott Tenorman that they are half-brothers and share the same father. Longtime fans know what this means. But just when you think things couldn't get any more dark, they do, when you see Cartman's reaction afterwards.
Don't you guys realize what that means? Yeah, dude, we know what it means. My dad was a ginger! Wait, what? I mean, obviously I take after my mom, but I have the ginger gene inside of me!
Number 10. Stan sees the world as feces.
Leave it to Trey Parker and Matt Stone to create a depressingly realistic portrayal of divorce, and then fill the screen with literal crap. You're Getting Old is all about the inevitability of change, primarily expressed through Stan's parents admitting that they're unhappy and filing for divorce. Soundtracked by Fleetwood Mac's Landslide, the final montage sees Stan solemnly going through the motions while trying to come to terms with Sharon and Randy's separation. Also, the boy turns to alcohol to deal with the situation. In its own slightly juvenile way, South Park cuts through the nonsense and captures the raw emotion of such a situation.
Number 9. Man Bear Pig goes on a spree.
You were totally right. Man Bear Pig is real and, he's killing lots of people in our town.
Oh, sucks for you.
Wow, what a
Surface,
shot.
A grotesque monster fond of murdering people is already rather gruesome. However, the real-life context behind Man Bear Pig's rampage is the real kicker. An obvious stand-in for climate change, Man Bear Pig is originally introduced as a figment of Al Gore's imagination.
Jump forward more than a decade, and climate change can no longer be dismissed as the ravings of a madman. Basically, serving as an apology, South Park sets the real Man Bear Pig loose on the unprepared public, who prefer to play Red Dead Redemption 2 while passing the monster-shaped buck on
Ain't
to
nothing
the
wrong with
next
that, brother.
generation.
We're gonna face Man Bear Pig and put an end to this deal once and for all.
Number 8. Kenny, Kevin, and Karen's parents go to jail.
Fuck's Kenny going for?
Get down now!
South Park rarely hesitates to tackle sensitive topics in the name of comedy. The Poor Kid episode launches with Kenny's parents being hauled off to jail for selling meth, and the kids being shipped off to an awful foster home. to make matters worse, but also funnier, the whole ordeal is filmed for a reality show called White Trash in Trouble, so Kenny's misfortune becomes a source of entertainment. Besides making a few timely and risky references to the Penn State scandal, the poor kid also has Cartman going to the absolute limits to try and avoid the stigma of being labeled as poor.
Well, guess I'm off to a foster home then. Hawaii is my first choice.
Number 7. Woodland Critter Christmas.
Now our Critter Christmas can finally happen. Hail Satan! Hail Satan!
Christmas is the season of rejoicing, reflection, stockings, and in the case of South Park, satanic rituals intended to summon the Antichrist and any food eaten over the last 24 hours.
What?
Stan is bamboozled into assisting a group of woodland creatures who are preparing for the coming of the animal kingdom's supposed savior, a process involving sacrificing and eating a rabbit.
While nothing screams happy holidays like cute animals gorging on even cuter animals, South Park goes the extra mile by throwing in a blood feast. We imagine the Woodland custom falls on the 13th day of Christmas.
Yay, sacrifice me to the devil! Yay, yay!
Number 6. The Priest Cleanup Crew.
Send in a cleanup crew, now.
Oh
South
shit.
Park is not afraid to put religious institutions to the sword, and few jabs are as direct as the Catholic cleanup crew. After Butters and Father Maxie disappear, a group of priests is sent to expunge all evidence of any wrongdoing by the church's representative.
In order to catch the seemingly criminal rogue Father Maxie, the cleanup crew sets a trap by kidnapping a few victims to use as bait.
South Park effectively satirizes such a dark and hushed subject by presenting the priests as gangsters and utterly eliminating any subtlety.
Number 5. Butters' Home Life.
Butters, we are talking to you! Explain yourself, mister!
With people like Randy Marsh, Garrison, and Eric Cartman on the show, the innocent Butters presents a welcome break from all the rampant cynicism.
He does.
Or that used to be the case, before season 5's finale decided to focus exclusively on Butters' tragic home life. Along with refusing to believe Butters could ever be picked on, Steven and Linda Stotch welcome any reason to punish or mistreat the naive boy. The torment extends beyond Butters' parents, as the kid's grandmother is also the worst.
Bitch.
Choosing just one dark moment is near impossible, but that time Linda tries to drown Butters has gotta rank high. There is no room for innocence in South Park.
It's okay, baby. Mommy will be with you very soon.
I think that, yep, it looks like the car's filling up with water.
Number 4. The
Jesus.
School Violence Phenomenon.
Southwest classroom clear!
Now we're gonna retake the exam on Friday.
Gee, who could have predicted an episode called Dead Kids would contain a dark moment or two? When South Park Elementary becomes the scene of multiple incidents of violence, the town's adults, teachers, and students treat the problem as a minor inconvenience rather than anything meriting a proper discussion. As the only one truly troubled by what's happened, Stan's mother Sharon is ostracized, mocked, and eventually broken by the town. Any premise involving this kind of violence is destined to be dark, but Dead Kids is totally devoid of any optimism that a solution may be found in the future.
What other thing? What happened at school today?
Number 3. Britney
Oh,
Spears.
Britney.
It's Britney!
Not Britney.
Considering South Park frequently injects religious figures into
damn.
episodes, it's safe to assume celebrities are unlikely to be handled with kid gloves.
The cartoon outing Bono as a sentient piece of feces is all in good fun, we guess, but a disturbed Britney Spears pulling the trigger of a gun is considerably darker.
Despite being short half a skull, Britney continues to fulfill her duty as the pop princess. Released just 2 months following Britney's
What's
heavily
going on with her
publicized
face?
breakdown, South Park's episode presents the press as vultures feasting off the celebrity's fragile mental state.
Did she shoot herself?
Number 2. Chef's brainwashing
The
and death.
fuck? What the fuck?
Driven by anger and grief, the return of Chef was South Park's response to Isaac Hayes' quote, Scientology entourage, reportedly making a statement on his behalf requesting he be released from the show after the cartoon openly mocked Scientology. In this episode, Chef joins the Super Adventure Club, an organization of traveling criminals who utilize brainwashing techniques to convince new members to fall in line. The boys try in vain to save Chef, but the club's conditioning is too deeply ingrained to break. With all hope lost, South Park violently kills Chef in a scene that feels defeatist rather than cathartic. Without context, this moment features a beloved character being vividly killed. With that context, the return of Chef is heartbreaking.
Chef!
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Scott Tenorman's Special Chili.
Do you like it? Do you like it, Scott? I call it Mr. and Mrs. Tenorman chili.
Frankly, Cartman could easily have dominated this entire
Oh, I think we've
list.
seen this one.
That being said, Eric's
Especially put,
crowning
like,
act of evilness puts to
body
shame all of
parts
the characters'
into
other
the
vile acts.
chili.
After being played and humiliated by Scott Tenorman, Cartman decides revenge is a dish best served
shit.
with a side of cannibalism.
During a cook-off between the two, Cartman serves Scott a bowl of chili made out of the unsuspecting boy's own parents.
This is not some mean-spirited joke. Cartman genuinely resorts to murder and cannibalism as revenge for being conned out of less than $20. Eric is an unapologetic psychotic monster who, somehow, is rarely not hilarious.
Nya, 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 nya. I made you eat your parents. Nya, 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 nya.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, whenever you watch a video like that, it kind of puts into perspective just how wild South Park really is. Kind of why we love it. And it's kind of alright to have a little TV show here and there that just kind of pushes the boundaries, kicks all the boundaries down, kicks all the walls down, and just puts out episodes of stuff that really just has absolutely no regard to what anyone really thinks. Couldn't give a flying fuck. It's great. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. Have yourselves a good week ahead, guys. Appreciate you.